Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, we're talking about a massive story out of the League of Legends offseason. And once again, we got the latest and greatest news, rumor, speculation, all that good stuff going on in the professional League of Legends scene. And as you can see on the screen, TSM, they actually did it. Somehow, someway, they got this deal done. Swordart is coming to TSM. Launcher tweeted out, this is just about an hour ago, a little bit less than an hour ago. Swordart has signed with TSM for 2 years and $6 million, a believed record contract for an esports player in a North American league. And then Jacob Wolf tweeted out about 50 minutes ago, if my educated guess is correct, Swordart will be the highest paid player in the LCS, even more than Perks, although I don't think Perks is that far behind, so Perks is maybe making a little bit less than $3 million a year. Kind of crazy that we went from Impact being the highest paid at 1.2 mil to two players making give or take $3 million per year, which is absolutely insane. Because yeah, we had Jensen sign a $1.4 million per year extension at the beginning of the offseason, and he was the highest paid player in the LCS. And then just weeks, if not like a month or two later, all of a sudden we have two players making double what Jensen just signed for. He's probably feeling a little salty that he signed his extension a little too soon. Also, Steve's probably feeling pretty lucky that he got that deal done when he did, before the market kind of took off on him, really to a place where no one would have seen it coming. But yeah, TSM was able to get this deal done. Again, I thought this was really crazy. I was telling you guys yesterday, even though Doublelift retired, once Doublelift retired, a ton of people in my comments on Twitter, everything were saying, well, Doublelift just retired. That means they're not getting Swordart. That means they're not getting a big name support. But I said, I don't know. We're not hearing any TSM support rumors, and they have an announcement coming soon. I think Swordart still has a chance. I think Swordart is still alive, and to me that just made so much sense because again, if Swordart wasn't happening and TSM already had their roster finished up yesterday, we would have been hearing about some kind of support names or rumors or something, and we really weren't. And again, TSM was trolling stuff so much on Twitter. Reginald was everywhere trolling with people, messing with people, and if he would have had a lackluster announcement to announce to the world after that, TSM fans would have been so upset, people would have been so pissed, they would have lost fans, and it would just not have been a good look for the organization, for Reggie, for any of their management, especially after some of their past controversies and just kind of flare-ups and things that have happened. But yeah, absolutely insane. Swordart is coming to the LCS, but Lost is still going to be the starting AD carry for TSM, and all of a sudden TSM has a very interesting, very scary roster, and even in an offseason where Bjergsen has retired, even in an offseason where Doublelift has retired, TSM lost two of the North American GOATs in the same offseason. They are still able to bounce back the year after that with a shot to go to Worlds. Now, yes, Team Liquid got a lot better. They are a scary team. Cloud9 got a lot better. They are a scary team. They brought in Perks. They're going to be exciting. But TSM has a real shot at third place now. A couple days ago, even a couple weeks ago, it was not looking good. It was looking like 100 Thieves might pass them up. Evil Geniuses. People were even starting to put like FlyQuest above them. But now TSM has made one of the biggest splashes in the entire offseason. TL went and got their big names. They got Alphari. They got Santorum. Cloud9, they made their big moves, and TSM is trying to keep up with them as best as they can. They got Power of Evil and Swordart. That is two absolutely massive free agent pickups. If Lost is as good as advertised and is able to play up to his potential like a lot of people think he can, then TSM's going to have like a tactical core JJ situation in the bot lane where they can have an established, veteran, very, very world-class support teaming up with a young AD carry, learning the ropes, and it helps these AD carries so much. It makes them look so much better, and TSM just has a bot lane that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in North America, and hopefully by the end of the year with a lot of teams in the world. And now TSM maybe even has a chance to go to Worlds, maybe even make it out of groups, which is something that North American fans have just been waiting for quite a long time. Now I get it, people are still not going to be excited about Huni. People still think he's very coin flip, people think he's washed up, whatever, but I'm not ready to give up on Huni. One, a motivated Huni is as scary as any top laner out there. When Huni wants to play well, when he is giving it his all, he can play very well. He can be an absolutely massive carry, and I think he's going to be motivated with Bjergsen as his coach pushing him. Bjergsen's not going to let you slack off. He's not going to let you troll. He's not going to let you do that stuff. They're not going to put up with that. TSM's not going to put up with that, and Bjergsen is not going to put up with that. And he's going to want to perform. This team is going to have potential, but it's going to be very difficult because, again, there are good teams in the LCS. The top half of the LCS got a lot better this offseason. There's a ton of young guys in the league looking to take people's spots, and we've seen it. We've seen how many veterans we've lost this offseason. If you do not perform, you are one split, 1 year away from being out of the LCS forever and never being able to return. So I think Huni, he's obviously still pretty young. Actually, I think Huni's like 22 or 23 years old, which is insane because it seems like he's been in the scene forever. But he's not necessarily, he doesn't have to be old and washed up. Yes, it is it's kind of an unexciting signing. A lot of people aren't excited about it, but it was part of getting a cheaper top laner to make this whole roster work. Obviously, I don't know the exact numbers for Power of Evil, but there's no way he was cheap. Swordart's getting a record contract. They weren't able to then go and get Licorice or Impact as well and spend so much money, because TSM is one of these teams that tries to make money. They try to run a profit. They're also don't have the biggest financial backings like some of these other teams. But they still were able to put together a very competitive roster. They were able to sell off some players, gain some money, and be able to make a huge splash like this. Now, yes, it is still crazy that Doublelift retired, but a lot of people out there were asking for Doublelift to retire. A lot of people out there see Lost as a long-term upgrade over Doublelift, obviously, but even a short-term upgrade over him as well, because Doublelift is coming off the worst year of his career. Maybe not the worst split. I think Spring Split was definitely worse than Summer Split. But yeah, he didn't look great. People weren't really excited for him. And this is a great opportunity for TSM to be building towards the future and be relevant in the short term at the same time, because now they have Spica and Lost, two young players who are pretty inexperienced, who have a ton of potential to grow for the future, and then they have veteran, very, very solid talent around them in Power of Evil, in Swordart. This is going to be a very fun TSM team to watch. Again, a couple days ago, the offseason looked bleak. TSM fans were upset. They were mad. They were not excited for the year. But all of a sudden, I think you should be hyped again. There's a lot of things to be excited about. I think this TSM roster, if they click, could even potentially take games off Cloud9 and TL. TSM has a very, very solid team. Power of Evil has proven he can go toe-to-toe with any mid laner in the world. He's performed at international competition before. I don't think he's better than Perks. I'm not saying he's going to be the best mid laner in the league or anything, but he can definitely play with Perks. He can definitely play with Jensen. He is, deserving of being there with them. Also, TSM is the defending champions, and they've made some interesting moves. Yes, Bjergsen retiring sucks. Power of Evil is a downgrade, but I don't think he's a massive downgrade. Power of Evil has, again, he's been Bjergsen's kryptonite over the course of his career. He's gone toe-to-toe with him. He is a very serviceable mid laner. He's a very, very solid guy. Obviously, they got an absolutely massive upgrade in the support role. Even if you think Huni is a downgrade over Broken Blade, which I think is arguable. I don't think Broken Blade is necessarily straight up better than Huni. But even if you say Broken Blade is better than Huni, I would agree with you. Swordart is way better than Biofrost. That gap is way larger than the gap that happened in the top lane. And then again, like I said, some people think, and I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with them, that Lost is a short-term upgrade over Doublelift. So I think there's ways and a case you can make that TSM potentially got better this offseason. Also, depending what you think of Bjergsen, how he's going to be as a coach over like Parth and some of the guys they had before, TSM could have potentially gotten a lot better this offseason. But either way, this roster is so much to be excited about. There's so many interesting questions. Obviously, they're only bringing back one player from the LCS championship team from the summer split. So that's going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on. It might take them a while to mesh. But again, a ton of the teams in the LCS made changes. A ton of teams have a lot going on. A ton of teams are going to be taking time to build synergy and kind of ramp up. So I don't think TSM is in necessarily a terrible spot. Again, I have them as the third best team in the LCS now, which would obviously qualify them for Worlds, which is really exciting. At the end of the day, that's all you want, is your team to have a chance to go to Worlds, a chance to perform, a chance to prove themselves on an international stage, to maybe get out of groups and then maybe do some damage. And again, in an offseason where you lost Bjergsen and you lost Doublelift, stuff wasn't going to be perfect. It was going to be a hard, crazy offseason, and I think the roster that TSM ended up with after all this craziness is honestly one of the best we could have asked for. So if you're a TSM fan, I don't think you should be upset. I don't think you should be talking crap about Reggie or the management or whoever. I think they did an amazing job, and if people want to hate on them when they do stuff wrong, I think you have to give them props when they do something right. Somehow, some way, they got the Sword Art deal done. He's coming to the LCS, and it's time to be excited. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about TSM? Now that they have Sword Art, where do you have them ranked in the LCS? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Subscribe to update on the latest content. Check me out over at Twitch, twitch.tv/I_am_germ. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.